gym. Was there any conversation around that at all?
Nah, even if it was, I don't even speak on, what other people got going on, I would love to fight.
During the week, Shakur Stevenson hosted Eddie Hearn, Terence Crawford, and Floyd Mayweather to watch him spar. However, what he didn't anticipate was an argument breaking out between Mayweather and Crawford after the session. The two were seated ringside in the gym while Stevenson prepared for his upcoming fight on February 22 against Floyd Schofield. Speaking to Fight Hype, Shakur Stevenson reflected on the gathering of boxing legends in the gym this week. "Man, I don't even know how they all ended up there," he said. "I feel like I need an extra check for that. I'm always setting up these plays, but I don't always get the credit I deserve. Still, I put together a nice little moment and had everybody show up at the gym. I appreciate those guys for coming through and supporting me. I just try to absorb all the knowledge and advice they give me." Interestingly, Floyd Mayweather had previously tried to sign Stevenson, but Eddie Hearn and Matchroom ultimately secured the young star.
Hold me back! Hold me back! You a fight, Eddie!
While Eddie Hearn and Floyd Mayweather managed to put their rivalry aside to share jokes and conversations, the dynamic between Mayweather and Terence Crawford took a different turn. Once friends, their relationship has soured this year. For Shakur Stevenson, 2025 is shaping up to be a pivotal year, but he knows he must deliver an impressive performance next month. As for Crawford and Mayweather, what started as a friendly interaction at the gym quickly escalated into a heated argument after Crawford confidently stated he had no doubt he could defeat Mayweather.
Like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no kid or us and the fight that I got coming up. It was more so just watching my...
What initially brought them together was Shakur Stevenson's intense training methods. Many people don't realize just how exceptionally hard Stevenson trains, but Eddie Hearn's comments provide a glimpse into his relentless mindset. Skipping rest breaks and sacrificing sleep are often part of a world champion boxer's routine, a reality they'll readily share with you.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it ain't the first time you've been around Floyd. It ain't the first time you've been around any of those guys. But, that day, especially with you having this fight, and, a lot of people saying that maybe Kid Austin isn't ready for you. What kind of talk, what was the conversation like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no kid or us and
Knowing when to fight, train, and rest is crucial, and Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts with IFL about what he witnessed from Shakur Stevenson in the gym this week. "What I love about being in environments like that is seeing the passion for the sport," Hearn said. Last night, Terence Crawford watched Shakur Stevenson spar. Shakur completed 14 rounds of 4 minutes each with just 30-second breaks. Terence and Floyd Mayweather stayed for the entire session and then moved to another ring to watch Ray Ford spar. Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford both have a deep love for boxing. Terence is especially passionate about the sport, enjoying the opportunity to watch young fighters, offer advice, and support talent from his community. "It was pretty cool," one observer noted. Shakur Stevenson's 14 rounds of 4 minutes each, with just 30-second breaks, were no joke. That kind of grind is tough, especially for whoever faced him in the ring. It's even more impressive considering Stevenson dealt with a severely injured hand last year, an injury so bad it landed him in the hospital. This year is shaping up to be massive for Stevenson, and he's set to return to action next month on February 22 in what many are calling one of the greatest boxing cards in history.
Hey, hold up. So if even pound, Floyd was pound for pound, you or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking.
Terence Crawford boldly claimed he would have defeated Floyd Mayweather if they had ever faced off while the undefeated boxing legend was still active. The switch hitter from Omaha, Nebraska, is a 4-weight world champion with 31 stoppages to his name. Most recently, Crawford captured the WBA world title in the super welterweight division with a decision win over Israel Madrio, marking the 4th weight class in which he's won belts. Crawford has also been undisputed in 2 divisions, making him one of only 3 fighters to achieve that feat in the 4-belt era. As Crawford solidifies his legacy as one of the best of his generation, fans continue to debate his place among the all-time greats. One particularly intriguing fantasy matchup pits him against the last dominant American fighter, Floyd Mayweather.
Terence didn't mention the fight, didn't say anything. You didn't talk to him about it. Floyd, not a peep.
Not a word.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Thanks, Eddie.
Floyd Money Mayweather famously retired undefeated in 2017, cementing his status as one of the most lucrative stars in boxing history. The defensive genius defeated icons like Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, and Oscar de la Hoya. But would Terence Crawford have made it onto that list if the two had ever crossed paths? When asked on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast how he'd fare against Mayweather, Crawford confidently backed himself, me versus anybody. His trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, shares the same belief, though he acknowledges his bias. There are two reasons, McIntyre explained. For one, Crawford is like my son, so I'll always pick him. And two, Terence has that dog in him. He didn't get to where he is today overnight, it's taken years of hard work and dedication.
Pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
If you put Bud in his prime against Mayweather in his prime, of course, Mayweather would be the smarter fighter, McIntyre said. But I think Bud would have more heart. Whether or not Bud could break through Mayweather's famous defense will always be up for debate. A more realistic matchup for Crawford at the moment, however, is Floyd Mayweather's showdown with Canelo Alvarez, set for September. Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, believes Crawford would defeat Canelo and make it look easy. Stevenson has been saying for years that Crawford would come out on top in a fight against Canelo.
Rumors of Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford, forgetting...
Terence Crawford, the WBA light middleweight champion, has promised to add 14 pounds in preparation for the highly anticipated fight, which could potentially be the biggest payday of his career. When asked if he believes Crawford will win, Shakur Stevenson was confident in his response. "I've been saying this for years," Stevenson said. "I'm probably the first one who said this, even before Terence did. I've always believed Crawford's style beats Canelo." Speaking to TalkSport Boxing, Stevenson made it sound like Crawford would stand toe-to-toe in trade blows with Canelo Alvarez in their September showdown. However, such a scenario seems unlikely, given Crawford's usual strategy when facing powerful punchers.
Classes, he's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. See the man.
Crawford typically relies on his movement, using his jab and quick footwork to land shots before swiftly repositioning himself. He doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, largely because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. It will be a little over a year, about 13 months. You've got to be very careful if you're going to take a fight above 160 pounds because it's a new weight class, Chris Mannix said on his YouTube channel regarding Crawford potentially taking a tune-up fight. It seems unlikely that Crawford will take the risk of a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before his showdown with Canelo Alvarez in September.
Yes, honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who...
If Crawford does compete in the middleweight division, it would likely be at a catchweight, possibly around 163 or 164 pounds, against a middleweight moving up. Potential opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Kyron Davis, fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. Another ongoing debate in the boxing world is the question of the greatest of all time. Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. are two legendary figures who have made an undeniable impact on the sport. Both are widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighters of their respective eras, sparking endless debates about who truly deserves the title of greatest of all time.
Do you respect the Floyd 50-0, or is it like...
You gotta respect anything a person does to stay undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah.
With his perfect 50-0 record, Mayweather is widely considered by many to be the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. His impenetrable defense and ability to control the pace of a fight made him a unique spectacle. On top of that, his career was marked by extraordinary commercial success, with 4 of the 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in boxing history. However, Roy Jones Jr., an undisputed champion across 4 weight classes, holds a different opinion. In an interview with Real Life Productions, when asked if he considered Mayweather the GOAT, Jones Jr. offered a simple but emphatic response: no. Slick yet punishing, Jones was the first fighter in over a century to win a middleweight world title and then claim the heavyweight title. Throughout his illustrious career, he held top honors in 4 divisions, defeating notable opponents such as James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, and Antonio Tarver, all while providing endlessly watchable performances.
Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go up top there? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died.
Mayweather famously concluded his career with a perfect 50-0 record, holding titles in 5 divisions and showcasing a defense widely regarded as the best in boxing. He also became one of the sport's most lucrative stars, claiming 4 of the top 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events. In an interview with Real Life Productions, Jones Jr. was asked if Mayweather's undefeated record made him the greatest of all time. Jones responded with a firm no, offering further explanation. "There are other campaigns that are more impressive," Jones said. "You have to respect anyone who stays undefeated for that long, I'll give him that. But is 50-0 enough for me to call him the greatest fighter of all time? Nah. Julio Cesar Chavez went 87-0 at one point. 87. Are you ever going to top that? No. Floyd got to 50-0 and stopped because of Rocky Marciano. If Marciano hadn't died, Floyd probably would have kept going.
If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So that's, and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect it? You feel me? So, I mean, I love Floyd, don't get it wrong, I'm not hating on Floyd, but come on, bro, you fight a guy that's 0-0, Conor McGregor was 0-0, and they let you do that?
Jones then specifically criticized Mayweather's farewell bout, a 10th round stoppage of UFC superstar Conor McGregor in his boxing debut. He argued that the fight didn't live up to the standard of a true test for Mayweather's legacy. The debate over who is the greatest of all time will likely continue, driven by the unique accomplishments and philosophies of these 2 icons of the sport. However, an interesting moment occurred when Mayweather and Terence Crawford met, with Eddie Hearn also attending the training camp to support Shakur Stevenson. It became a small gathering of some of boxing's biggest names. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but in today's world, with so many witnesses and celebrities involved, it's nearly impossible to keep things secret. And when you add Floyd Mayweather into the equation, it's almost guaranteed to make headlines. A recent meeting between Mayweather and the famous promoter Eddie Hearn in a Las Vegas gym sparked some tension. Although the moment was filled with jocular comments, it was clear that they weren't exactly just exchanging pleasantries.
I'm gonna tell you why I like Eddie. So one day, somebody, because you know I don't have social media on my phone. Yeah. So they showed me Eddie. Eddie was like, "Boy, Mayweather ain't got no money."
It's worth noting that Eddie Hearn had previously stated in numerous interviews that Floyd Mayweather didn't have as much money as he claimed, or at least not the vast sums he suggested. Hearn argued that this was why Mayweather was seeking exhibition fights. Despite Mayweather earning over $1.2 billion during his legendary boxing career, including major paydays against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, widespread reports now suggest that his current net worth is around $400 million. This wealth has enabled him to live a lavish lifestyle outside the ring. Although he retired from professional boxing in 2017, Mayweather has continued to fight in a series of lucrative exhibition matches, taking on lesser-known opponents, including Deji and Logan Paul.
Why you doing exhibition? No, Eddie don't believe that now.
Yeah. But Eddie will say some shit like that now.
Eddie will say some shit, but one thing.
The boxing legend has repeatedly claimed he's earning 8-figure paydays from each exhibition, even going as far as to call them legalized bank robberies. When explaining why he was accepting these showman-style events, Mayweather insisted it was to continue building his generational wealth. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, however, suggested in multiple interviews that Mayweather's net worth might not be as substantial as many believe, due to his extravagant spending. "I don't think he has the money he claims," Hearn said. "I don't think he needs the money, but when you live that kind of lifestyle, spending what he's spending, it adds up.
What about that? But me and Eddie got it clear, didn't we, Eddie?
Yeah.
One thing, me and my buddy got it clear.
We said as long as it's 10 or 20, no problem. Anything less.
The climax occurred when Mayweather ran into Eddie Hearn in Las Vegas and confronted him about the comments. The undefeated former boxer claimed that Hearn often makes these kinds of remarks, but that they had already cleared things up. The two began to joke as if the news had been true, playfully throwing comments at each other while their respective groups of friends laughed along. Their paths crossed at a boxing gym in Las Vegas, where they were both watching some sparring ahead of the fight between Diego Pacheco and Steve Nelson. Mayweather jokingly started a conversation, saying, "So one day, somebody told me, because you know I don't have social media on my phone, they showed me Eddie."
Can't be less than 10. Because then we're struggling for money.
I had to show Eddie some of that account.
It was like, Floyd Mayweather Jr. ain't got no money, that's why he's doing exhibitions, Mayweather joked. Eddie doesn't believe that. I know he says stuff like that, but me and Eddie got it cleared up. A smug grin spread across Mayweather's face, mirrored by Hearn's, as the two shook hands. Hearn then responded with a playful remark, "Yeah, as long as it's 10 or 20, no problem." Anything less? It can't be less than 10. The joke had Mayweather laughing out loud, joined by a chuckle from one of his team members. It was clear that there were no hard feelings between the two.
Imagine how much money Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mayweather Jr. mentioned that he had even shown his bank accounts to Hearn, clarifying, "Listen, I had to show Eddie some of my accounts." Hearn responded with a grin, "Imagine how much Floyd..."
Hold me back.
They say many a true word is spoken in jest, but in reality, this doesn't apply to Mayweather, who remains one of the richest former athletes in the world. While it's unclear if he has any more exhibitions lined up, he continues to be linked to potentially lucrative return bouts. Hearn never promoted Mayweather, but he likely wishes he had, considering the star power of the American. Mayweather's pay-per-view events against Pacquiao in 2015 and McGregor in 2017 remain the two highest-grossing fights in modern boxing history.
When I come and do an exhibition or come out and box and have some fun, I do it because I want to do it, not because I have.
When I come out and do an exhibition or box just for fun, I do it because I want to, not because I have to, Mayweather said. Despite earning an incredible amount of money over his 20-plus years in professional boxing, there have been stories over the years suggesting that Mayweather hasn't always been wise with his finances. Even leading up to his massive fight against Conor McGregor in 2017, the Irishman hinted that the undefeated former world champion might have had tax issues. Although Mayweather remains the richest fighter in boxing history, questions about his wealth have emerged since his retirement, with Eddie Hearn even raising concerns about the state of Mayweather's finances.
I think that Mayweather was unquestionably one of the best ever. But I don't know.
In a recent interview with GRM, Eddie Hearn questioned Floyd Mayweather's wealth, suggesting that the undefeated fighter doesn't have as much money as he claims. "I don't think he's got the money," he says, Hearn remarked. "I don't think he needs the money, but when you live that kind of lifestyle, spending what he's spending, it adds up." In response, Floyd Mayweather posted a new video on his Instagram, where he boasted more than usual in an effort to disprove Hearn's claims and fire back at the promoter.
Difficult to say he's not a true fighter because he fought everybody he could of his era. But he was a different kind of skill set, you know, he was very much hit and don't get hit, which is the art of boxing.
In the video, Mayweather was presented with a check, and he deliberately announced the amount written on it. He continued, saying, "You know what we do, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, CEO of Zeus. I appreciate you. You guys always do great business. That's 6 Zos, it's not bad, it's a deal I appreciate."
Good to see you again, man.
Come on, let me what's going on.
The money man is back, you know?
You know what we do, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, CEO of Zeus, let me. I want to say I appreciate you. You guys always do great business.
Thank
and
you.
of course,
you know, we
if I'm the money man, they gotta have some fun.
He then appeared in another interview, where he took a playful jab at Eddie Hearn, saying, "When I come and do an exhibition, it's because I love the sport and I feel like it." Floyd Mayweather is widely recognized as the biggest moneymaker in boxing history. The 47-year-old retired with an undefeated 50-0 record, having built a remarkable career as the sport's biggest draw. Over the course of his 50-fight career, he generated billions of dollars in revenue, cementing his legacy as one of the most lucrative figures in combat sports.
I think sometimes when these guys carry on and they do the exhibitions and all that kind of stuff, it just sort of diminishes the legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Hearn's comments carry some weight, as throughout his career, Mayweather has often been seen bragging about and publicly flaunting his wealth. However, he's also faced accusations of not always managing his money wisely. Despite earning a massive payday in one of the biggest fights in boxing history against former two-division UFC champion Conor McGregor, Mayweather continues to participate in exhibition bouts.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.